Danny Boyle's zombie film 28 Days Later presented a chilling portrait of an England ravaged by a virus that turns everyone into raging monsters. The next film, 28 Weeks Later, continued that with its focus on the military trying to contain it. Even as the survivors tried to make it out alive, it was uncertain who would make it to the end. And now Boyle and screenwriter Alex Garland have returned to this infected England with 28 Years Later. The sequel takes some bold chances and surprising turns, and while it has its slow moments, there are enough interesting elements and new ideas presented to make it a solid horror film. With this being said, many years after the previous movie, part of the intrigue comes from seeing how the infected have evolved. Boyle and Garland show what has happened to them and even the various stages they found themselves in, with some being stronger than others. Nonetheless, they remain a threat, allowing for the occasional tension that pops up when the characters see them crawling or running into view. The most fascinating are the alphas, who are even stronger than their predecessors and have their own tribal way of reacting to the people who dare come near them. We get a decent variety of other zombies too throughout the film. The society built by the survivors has also been cleverly thought out. We get an idea of how this community functions and the hatred they've grown to have towards the zombies. The story is primarily about the relationship between a young teenager named Spike and his parents, and it's interesting seeing his contrasting and evolving views towards both of them. Aaron Taylor Johnson is particularly good as the father, and there's an interesting element about how much the world has evolved outside the United Kingdom since the outbreak. There are times when 20 Years Later slows the pacing down, which can feel like a bit of a lull before the action picks up again. Boyle also splices in a number of dream sequences, namely early on, and there's the occasional fast cutting when a zombie gives chase. The screenplay takes an episodic structure as the characters encounter one problem after another, but it's clear this is part of the journey they're taking and the challenges they have to overcome. One of the highlights comes from Ray Fiennes as one of the survivors, giving a performance that suggests that his character has seen a lot of horrible things, but recognizes this is what life is like now, and he will try to make do with what he has. 28 Years Later fits right in line with the previous movies of the series for its depiction of a country further falling apart. The film comes up with imaginative ways for how the zombies have changed and continue to be a problem, and even plays around with the genre. And just when it seems like the narrative is slowing down a bit, Danny Boyle will usually pick things up again. The film provides the proper reintroduction to this world, along with curiosity of where the story will go in the next chapter that has already been filmed by Nia DaCosta and currently in post-production. 20 Years Later is a solidly done zombie movie that throws in just enough surprising turns as the characters try to survive another day.